learn it by heart, and then you can take a note of the materials which are missing and resume your activity after the session. And you know what? We love you so much that we are going to provide you with the recording of the session within 24 hours on the Kukuduku website so that you can access these activities even later. Great! Well, fun never ends with Kukuduku Art Fest. Are you excited for this fun-filled journey? I am so much, and I can't wait to get started with my first session, which is create your own character. So children, brace yourself and get ready to enjoy this wonderful session with Ibtihaj Alharthi from Oman. I can see those big smiles on your face. We are international now. Children, let's welcome our instructor. Yay, show your thumbs up.
Hello.
Amazing. So we have Ibtihaj Alharthi, who grew up in Muscat but lived the best moments of her life in the summers in her small village in Al-Sharqiya region in Oman. In school, she partnered with her best friend and created their first comic book that was quite a hit amongst their classmates. She did 2 degrees in education, only to find out that she loved art more, and finished her MFA in illustration from the Academy of Art University in 2015. She currently works as an artist and an author in Muscat. So are you excited? Can I see your thumbs up? Can I see your big fists? Can you give me a high five on the screen? Great. So all my lovely children, over to our instructor.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for the lovely introduction, Abhi. I truly appreciate it. I am honored to be joining you today, and I'd love to tell you a bit about myself, and I hope to learn that you learn a thing or two from me. My name is Ibtihaj Alharthi, and I'm a children's book author and illustrator from Oman. And I am a mother of 3 lovely kids, and I get my inspiration from them. Well, today I'd like to talk with you about choosing art as a path, because it was very difficult for me to choose art and pick children's book illustration. As Abby told you, I grew up in a village. I was born in the capital, but I grew up in a village. I grew up in the 80s. And back then we did not have like comic books or illustrations. There was not a lot of visual culture. All we got was 30 minutes of animation that came from Japan, and it was translated. And all of me and my cousins, we would gather together in front of the TV and wait for those 20 minutes. What happened is the idea that images, art, pictures could move was fascinating for us. It was such a novelty. It was something that was new. And then all we got as picture books came basically from the West and was translated. So we got like secondhand books of DC Comics with heroes like Superman and Batman. And we got them from like uncles and relatives who worked or lived in Egypt or Lebanon, major cultural centers back in the 80s. Well, of course, what happened then is that I loved art. I would have my notebook, and when I watch animation or when I look at DC Comics, I would copy panels like nonstop. I'd spend hours copying these panels. And then when I went back to school, I became the kid who knew how to draw. So all of my classmates would come and say, you know, draw a portrait of us or draw this character. And I loved it. What happened then is that me and my friend, we gathered together and we produced our first comic. She was excellent at Arabic calligraphy. My handwriting sucks, so I'm not very good, but I was very good at art. So we collaborated. She did all the calligraphy and I did all the art. And the kids loved it. And this is where I realized that I loved art so much. The thing is, later on, I grew up. And when I grew up, I wanted to be an excellent student. I became an A student, just like I'm sure all of you are. And I wanted to be serious. So I pursued English and I studied English. I graduated with honors and I became an English teacher. I pursued my master's in education and I taught English for 8 years at a local university, only to find out that I actually loved what I did as a kid more. So I went back to childhood and I thought, okay, I need to study art because this is what I love. And I'm so thankful that I had the opportunity to do so, because after doing so, I realized how impactful art is on cultures, and I realized how important it is as a discipline. And this is when I quit my job as a teacher and dedicated my life to art. I realized that as a kid, when I was your age, there wasn't much that represented me or my culture. Everything I know about my culture came from Western countries or came from others, but nothing was produced from my area. And I wanted to participate to that visual culture. And this is why I draw and illustrate for kids. And I try to emphasize culture because I believe it is important. And if you ask me about my country, Oman, and art in Oman, well, obviously art is everywhere, but we don't have many cultural centers or museums and stuff. Art is everywhere. Art is in people's life. So obviously Islamic culture affects architecture, clothing, and all. And of course, many Omani artists followed international artistic movements like Cubism, Realism, Impressionism, and all the isms. But I could talk for the rest of the day about it. But I'd rather talk about what is Omani art to me, Ibtihaj, because it took me time to realize it. As I told you, I studied in the West, so I was exposed to Western art. But when I came to Oman and I started looking into my culture, I realized that art is the story. It's everyday life. It's what people say. It's what people comment on. And as I told you, I grew up in a village. So all the women in my country, they would sew beautiful textiles. And I fell in love with those patterns. And I could see characters in them, characters that I could use in my own stories. And this is what I'd love to introduce you to. So you can work from what is around you. So for example, I'll show you this. This is a traditional Omani kumma, and it is a head cap normally worn by men. And I saw women, like each single circle, it's like a circular shape. It takes about half an hour to produce only one circle. And out of these circles, you make shapes. And this idea as a child fascinated me. And now I think that, that this is important art, and it is not less important than art that is hung on museums. Now, another thing, this is another textile, which is art to me as well. This is sewn by my own mother. And as a kid, I was taught how to do it. So this is worn by Omani women in my village. This is what we wear, and women sew it themselves. And it takes about 3 days to produce one dishdasha, one garment. It takes a lot of time and effort, and it's normally worn in celebrations like Eid and all. And it is about all of the stories when women gather together and sew the clothes and produce art and gossip about the neighbors. To me, this is art. This is what makes me Omani and what makes Omani art. Another thing that inspires me, again, back to patterns. This is, again, what women would wear in my area. These are Omani pants. And again, they're sewn by Omani women, and they take maybe 2 months in the making. It's delicate work. And all of these patterns could actually be used to create characters. And this is what I hope to teach you today. And this is what I'm going to teach you how to incorporate in your art. If we could go back to the session so that I can show you how to draw. Abhi, if... All right, so I hope this is clear to you. Now, as I told you, okay, I'm trying just so that, okay, good. So the idea is to use things around you to create your own characters and to create your own story, and that it's something related to what you see. So for example, you start with basic shapes. So if you open your fridge and find an orange or any circular shape, look at that shape and try to use it. So see? So if I draw a big circle here, and I'm using watercolor paper, 300 gram, and a regular pencil, but you could use any A4 paper if it's in front of you. It does not have to be watercolor, but I'll be using watercolor here. And then you look at the shape in front of you, like the orange here. And then you try to make a simple character out of it. So I have eyes here, for example. I hope you're following me. And then a simple mouth. And then we have hands, very simple. And then we have legs. And if you look at this character, it's really simple and it tells you nothing. There is no story. It's a very basic character. So the thing is, you start to think, how can I make a story out of this character? So for example, in my case, if I look at this, I want to make an Omani boy from my own village out of this character. So I'll write a formula. And the formula is, okay, I have the orange, so I'll write orange, and then plus Omani clothing. And Omani clothes, like the head cap I showed you here, I'm going to use it. So I'll just put a circle and then draw a simple cylinder, which is this cap. And I look into the patterns here and I see a very simple pattern and I'll use it. I hope you're drawing with me, and you can use anything. It doesn't have to be the pattern I'm using. It could be a pattern that you see in front of you in your own garments. Okay. And then I'll think about this character more. And I think this is a naughty boy, okay? So he's not, okay, so he's not a very quiet boy. Maybe he's naughty, maybe he runs around in the village. So I give him a funny character and maybe mix it with an animal. So maybe plus a cat, because he's naughty, and cats in my village were naughty. They're sneaky. They try to go inside when people don't want them to go inside. So I'll give him cat ears. Okay, and maybe a tail. You can see that the character is becoming more interesting now. Okay, so I look at the character. It's okay, but I want to make it more Omani. So maybe I'll add some Omani sandals. And this is a naughty boy. So maybe he's not wearing his sandals all the time. Sometimes when he runs fast, he loses the sandal. So one of them is here. Okay. And then I'm thinking this is like a naughty boy and a cat. So he's more of a wild boy. So I'm thinking more of a wild cat. So maybe I'll add stripes to the cat, because this is not a normal house cat. It's a bit of a wild cat. Maybe, I don't know, 3 hairs here, extra character, maybe 3 hairs on the tail, just to give him more personality. And then you see naughty boys, sometimes they don't know they're naughty. If you ask them, why did you do this? They say, we don't know. So I'll give him a funny expression, maybe a mouth like this. And if you look at this, you can see a funny character that is yours. that you created from a simple orange, and you added a few things to make it yours. So it's a special character, it's not very general. Okay, so once you're done with your pencil sketch, I'm using here India ink, and I'm using a pen with a nib, and I'll show you how to do it. If you do not have it, you can use a normal pen to outline, but if you're using watercolor, it has to be waterproof. Okay, so open the India ink and the pen, and be careful, and then simply dip it, and then follow the outline. Watch carefully. Try to have a steady hand, and think about all the talks and the stories of this boy. While you draw, think about him. Where does he go? What does he do? Does he go around in farms? Okay, what mischief is he up to? Now, since I'm thinking about mischief, and since he's related to cats, I just got an idea, because cats love to hunt birds, and maybe this boy, he hunts birds as well. So he's got a slingshot, and maybe he'll say something as in, I don't know, or I didn't do anything, something like that. And then continue, trying to have a steady hand. So here, and then the ears, carefully, and then the lovely hairs here, and then another ear. Okay. Now the eyes. See, he's surprised. Why? Why do you call me a naughty boy? I'm not. Okay. Then the surprised mouth. And then you drew the circle with a steady hand. Try your best not to ruin the shape. Okay. Well done. I hope you're following this with me. And I hope it's all clear. Okay. And then we move to the hands. Very simple. 2 lines, 3 fingers. That's all. Don't complicate things. And then the other hand. Okay. And then 3 fingers. Okay. And then you've got the slingshot. Something like this. Okay. Maybe a few lines here. And then another. Okay. And then again the legs. Very simple. And then the sandals. Okay. Only 3 fingers. Keep it simple. All right. And then his other leg, and he's barefoot. He's so fast, he forgets about his other sandal. Okay, and just draw it next to him so that we know. And then you've got his tail. All right. Okay. And then the stripes. Okay. And then the 3 hairs. And then fill it with ink. Okay. And then add more stripes. Maybe one here, maybe another one here, another one, another one. This, you see, this is a wild cat. It's a wild boy cat. So let's make him look like one. A cute one though, he's still cute. Okay, I hope you're following with me. If you want me to slow down, do let me know. Somehow, I don't know how. Okay, so the ink now, normally we need to wait for it to dry, but I'm going to make the process faster by using a hair dryer. Okay. Okay, I hope it's dry now. You can test it. Oops, see, it's not dry yet. So I'll do it again. Okay, it's probably dry now. So you get your eraser and then you erase your sketch. Okay, we forgot about the balloon. If you want him to say something, I'll just draw it in. If you want him to say something, oops. Okay. And then just erase all of your lines so that you have a clear line drawing. Oopsie, still not completely dry. This is what happens when you use ink instead of a normal pen, but we'll try to fix it. Okay, and I'll erase this. Okay, see again. You see, ideally you should wait for it until it dries because, but this is, since this is a very short session, I'm sorry, but I have to do this quick. But let's try it together and then I'll show you another illustration that I did the same, which I followed the same process, but I had more time. So once you're done with your illustration, you need to decide on your colors. I'll keep the palette here. I hope you see it. Okay, so you simply dip your brush onto water and pick a color. Now I said this is a wild cat, so I think this cat is going to be gray because it's on the streets a lot. So these are the colors I'm going to use. So what you do is that you load your brush with paper, okay? And then you use the color you want. Now, I had gray by mixing ultramarine blue with some brown, and it produces this color I have now, okay? And then you color. And it does not have to be exact. You just try to enjoy the process. Okay, avoid the eyes. And we'll try to fix the mouse here. Sorry, I mean the mouth, because see, it's still not ideal, but then I can go back with the pen and make it clearer. And then the legs. Okay. And then the other arm. And this one. And then the tail. And then for the cap, I want something bright that shows that he comes from the village. So it's probably going to be a bit green, something colorful. Okay. And then for the slingshot and the shoes, I'm going to use like a simple brown. Any brown would do, like a light brown or a dark brown. Take your pick. Like a brownish color. And the slingshot as well. And this is your first character. Well, I'm sorry about the mess. This is the character I drew when I had time, which is basically the same character. And I followed the same method of using pluses, adding things to a basic shape. So if you see here, this is the character. And the formula is that cat plus Omani head cap plus, some stripes and sandals and a slingshot. And it gives me a special character that is mine. Out of everyday basic shapes and inspired by patterns from my own culture. Okay, I think we have time for another example. It'll be a little bit more complex now, so bear with me. So if you have another clean piece of paper, we're going to do this again with another character. And again, I will start with a basic shape. So instead of using a circle or an orange like I did, I'm going to use like an eggplant. And if you look at the shape, it's actually two shapes. So if you think of an eggplant, it is basically one circle, and then maybe another circle, okay, next to each other. And then you connect them. And it looks something like this. So this is the shape of an eggplant. Something you can find in your fridge. It's just something to help you to start thinking about characters. This is the point. You look around, you think, and you see everything as art. Even the simplest objects around you. Okay? And then you draw a line in the middle. And then eyes, simple circles. Same way we did before. Okay? And then simple hands, again, 3 fingers, nothing complicated. Another hand, okay, again, 3 fingers. And then legs. Okay. And I look at this and think about it. You've got something out of a basic shape. And if I think about this, I think that the character is not centered. And when I think about eggplants, I don't know, they're purple. So I always imagine them angry for some reason. It's an angry vegetable. Okay, so when I think about this character, I think, maybe this is an angry character. All right, so what I do, I think more and I say, okay, what is my formula? What I have now, I have an eggplant shape, which is a basic shape. What do I need to add to it? Okay, since I drew a boy out of an orange, I'm going to draw a girl out of this eggplant. And I'm going to use the traditional items that I showed you before. So if you remember this dishdasha, okay, the traditional Omani garment that is worn by girls and women. I thought I'd use this pattern here on the dishdasha, and maybe I'll let her wear the traditional Omani pants as well. Okay, so that I have an Omani eggplant character. Okay, and then I'll keep on adding stuff to explore this character more. All right, so this is the mouth. I'll draw a simple circle here. Okay, this is the neck base. It's an eggplant, but I'm imagining that it has a neck. And then this is the shape I saw in the dishdasha, and I'm following it easily. And I know that it looks like this. And I might add a few decorative shapes. See? Okay, so she's wearing the dishdasha. And I look at the pants. Okay, and I add them to her legs. And I know that it looks something like this. Now, this is a very complex pattern. Okay, so I'm not going to take everything. I'm just looking at this shape that looks like an X to simplify it, because your job as an artist is to simplify things, not only copy them. Okay, so I'll just use a simple X shape. All right. And then for the hands, some sleeves. Okay, and 2 lines for embroidery. And again, some sleeves and 2 hands for embroidery. Okay, now it looks like a strange Omani girl. Okay, so I added the Omani clothes. All right, what do I add to this formula? Now I said I believe that eggplants are angry vegetables. So maybe I'll make her angry. So look at the eyebrows. Okay. The mouth, I might keep it the way it is. And she's a girl, so, and maybe she's an older girl, maybe she's a big sister. So I don't know, I'll add hair, maybe some braids. Okay. All right, that looks more like a character. Now, why is she angry? Because I have to tell a story, okay? I'm a storyteller. I'm not only an artist, you've got to tell stories through your art. Okay, so maybe she is the big sister. Maybe her mother keeps on sending her on errands and she's angry and she doesn't like it. So she lives in a village. Maybe she is asked to bring bales of water. See? So here they are. Not only that, she is asked to wash the dishes and keep them on, you know, just move them around. And it's a funny shape. Look at this. It seems that she's not balanced because she's carrying heavy stuff. She's angry. And you can tell that she looks like an eggplant, but she's a character as well. Okay, so if we're happy with this character and we like all the things that we added to the basic shape, something we got out of our fridge and we added some cultural elements to it, we can start inking. Now this time I'll be more careful with the ink, or maybe I'll just use a simple outliner so whatever happened before doesn't happen again. Okay, so let's start. I hope you're with me, okay? So I'll simply outline the character. Oops, okay. So the eggplant basic shape, and then her face. Okay. And then the decorative elements. All right. And we look at the hair. Okay. Then maybe it's something like this. Then we color these, we fill them with ink lightly, trying to give them a fun shape because she's angry. So maybe we should scribble it like this. She's not happy. So her hair is not happy as well. Okay, see? Everything about her says I'm angry. Okay, and then the eyebrows, the eyes. And then the mouth. She's got a serious, angry look to her. And then the patterns here, 3 fingers, and the veil. Okay, which is simply a cylinder. All right, and then maybe you could color this for shadow. Okay. And then the other side, maybe the hands come from here. Okay, I'm making changes as I go. You can see I'm not following the the outline religiously, you could make corrections when you ink. Okay. And then again, the veil, the other one. Okay. And maybe some water, you know, because she's not centered. And the legs, the pattern, maybe some lines. And then again, maybe some lines, and very simple feet. Okay. Okay, and then you add some kitchenware. She's carrying stuff on her head. Okay, maybe she's taken all of these to wash them in the village. In Oman, villages are, I don't know, like a small water stream that is man-made because we don't have rivers. Okay, so we're done with the character. And since she's angry, she's going to express it. So she'll say something low, not again. Okay. And then you're done with your character. So once you reach this point, okay, you're going to get your eraser and erase it. And it's going to erase easily because there is no ink. Okay. And since these pens are waterproof, you can actually use watercolors, or if you don't have them, feel free to use like normal crayons. It'll work as well. Okay. It's just that I prefer watercolors more. So again, I'll bring my palette. I hope you see it. Okay. And I'll use water. All right. Okay, now this is an eggplant, and I want to color her as so. I don't know. I think the color will make her maybe appear angry. Okay. So this is basically the colors I'm using here. I mixed blue with red. Okay. And this is the color I got. All right. And then the hands. And then the feet. Okay. And then for the dishdasha, traditionally, the patterns are made of like golden colors. So I'm going to use simple yellow for it. You can use golden yellow as well. All right. Okay. And then something for the hands. And again, the patterns, the pants. And now the veils. Now the veils are simply gray, which is basically I'm mixing blue with some, like a bit of red. Okay. And add white if you have it. Okay. And once you mix all of these colors, okay, you can use them. So it's going to give you like a grayish color for the veil. Okay, here we go. So I've got this. Then the other one. I hope you're having fun while you're doing this. It's a lot of fun. Watercolor is a beautiful medium. Okay, and then this one. And try to dabble. Okay, now we're done. So again, she's from the village. And when I think about Omani villages, I think about green because I think of palm trees and farms. So I'm going to use a lively green for her dishdasha or woman garment, traditional woman garment in Oman. All right. Okay. And then the other hand. Okay. Another reason for why I chose green is because that it goes with purple, like on the color wheel. And then for the pants, I'm going to use another bright color, which is blue. And I'm going to use the same color for water, you know, like the splashes of water coming out of the pail. All right. And this is going to be my second character using very simple shapes. I hope you like it and I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope that you followed with me. Now you could use this method with anything. For example, this is the mug. I don't know, I'm drinking coffee and tea and it could inspire me. So for example, again, I used this mug. I hope you can see this. Maybe I'll put it here. Okay, and I used the same method. I started with a mug, I gave it eyes, and then I added to the formula. Maybe I want to have a shield and a sword for this mug, and then this is my character. Okay, another example, again with the cat theme. Okay, this is another one where I used like a simple circle, like with the orange. Okay, and then I added shapes to it. I decided that maybe this cat is a pirate cat. So he's got a patch on his eye and I don't know, some funny pants and then the tail and all of that. Now another character using, you know, the eggplant shape. Again, this is another character. So you can see here an eggplant and I added bat wings. Okay, and then I added some chicken legs. It could be something as funny as possible, and you could come out with amazing result. And don't think light of it because you might be surprised. This eggplant shape, I actually used it in one of my books. So this is one of my books, my latest one. And this character, I don't know if you can see it, but it's here. It's all over the book. And it's simply an eggplant with chicken legs and bat wings. All I'm trying to teach you is to be creative, experiment, and have fun. And you'd be amazed at the results you can get. All right. Just finally, before I finish, this same illustration, the eggplant, I did before with more time and using traditional mediums like India ink and a nib. It just gives another feel. It's like the more you experiment with different materials, the more you get different results that are not possible with the other material. Thank you so much for listening and following. And I'd be so happy to receive any questions from you. So Abhi, if we could move to the questions.
Yes, Miss Ibtihaj, it was amazing and I have enjoyed your sessions thoroughly and so have all our children. And yes, our children have some questions. So the first question is that, Miss Ibtihaj, can we use our own colors like crayons, gel pens, or oil pastels? Over to you.
Of course, you can use anything you want. With the same method, same illustrations, you can use crayons, you can use, let me show you, you can use markers. Okay, so outline it, use markers, use crayons, you can use whatever you want. I mean, the world is your oyster when it comes to art. You can use anything.
Great, thank you so much. And can we draw our own character?
Of course, this is the point. You can draw your own character out of any object in front of you. It could be something as simple as a mug, or I don't know, you can make a character out of this pen. You can give it maybe wings, eyes, and legs, and it becomes your own character.
Wonderful, thank you.
You're welcome.
And Miss, were our characters walking over the wall? They were tilted. And can we make our characters walking over the wall, hanging upside down, etc.?
Of course, but what you need to think about is how to help your characters. So if it's a character that is hanging up the wall, you need to think about what would make the character hang on the wall. Does it have magic legs, for example? Maybe it's a spider, and it has like some sort of a string that is pasted it to the wall. So you need to think about the story, how to make your character convincing.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Miss Ibtihaj, for that much splendid workshop. And all of us, especially our children, have enjoyed it the most. You are awesome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And all my lovely children, you are such lovely kids. You have attended this session with so much of energy, with so much of attention. Can you all give yourself a big bear hug? Let's hug ourselves and let's send hugs to Miss Ibtihaj. Everyone, squish! And thank you so much, children. This fun-filled Global Kukuruku Art Festival is brought to you by Camlin, India's favorite stationery brand, in association with our radio partner 92.7 Big FM. Dun badal ke to dekho. And now I cannot wait for the next session tomorrow. Children, are you ready? Type it in the chat box. Let me see how excited you are for tomorrow's session. Let me see. What are you all typing? Are you all excited? Rate your excitement. Wow, wonderful. And children, if you have missed out on any instruction or any drawing, etc., you can view this video again. We are going to upload it on our Kukuruku website within 24 hours. Isn't that amazing and quick? Well, I can't wait to have a recap of this amazing session. All right, children. So I can see that you all are super duper excited for tomorrow's session. And we go hip hip hooray to today's session. I am going to see you all tomorrow once again and have an artistic day ahead. Looking forward to all of you while you do all these activities at home by yourself. Excited? Show me a thumbs up, everyone. Perfect. I love your happy and smiling faces. I'm going to see you tomorrow. Have an artistic and a fun-filled day. Say bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Wave your hands, everyone. Lovely. Thank you so much, everyone. I enjoyed your presence the most, and you are fantastic, lovely children. Say bye, everyone. Great. Superb. Woohoo. Lovely. I can see all your messages and your excitement. You are awesome. And a big hug goes to you.
हम तो खोजते रहे अपने मकान, यहाँ वहाँ, हाँ जी हाँ, कुकुड़ कुकुड़ुकू कुकू कुकुड़ुकुड़ुकू कुकू कुकुड़ुकुड़ू कुकुड़ुकू कुकुड़ुकुड़ुकू कुकू कुकुड़ुकुड़ुकू कुकू कुकुड़ुकुड़ू कुकुड़ुकू हम तो बंठन चले सुनने नए किस्से कहानियां बचपन की